In this video, I'm going to take you through an entire day of my live day trade. Okay, I told myself this week I had a $20,000 profit goal. I've had an all right week. I'm at $9.7 thousand. So we're about halfway to that goal, and I'm not trading tomorrow, so I'm going to try to hit that today. So I'm basically going to take you alongside me while I'm finding these trades, executing on them, and show you the real profits, losses, and decision making along the way as I'm placing these trades. Okay, and if all goes to plan, we should be able to hit that $20,000 weekly goal. Right now, we have about 10 minutes until we get into market open. So I'm going to show you how I set up for my session, and then hopefully we're going to get into finding trade number one. Okay, so anytime I'm setting up for my trading session, here on the left, I have my trading view. This is where I'm going to be analyzing my trades. Here I have my exchange where I'm going to be executing on these. And then I have my trade journal here. So sometimes I use a different trade journal, but I want you guys to all be able to have access to this as well. So I'm going to use my Notion one that I built. Okay, this and all of the tools that I talk about are going to be in the description of the video. If at any point you want to follow along, you can go in there and I'll give them to you. Okay, and what I want to start off by doing is looking at a way higher time frame of the overall market that I'm trading. Okay, so basically I'm looking at Bitcoin right now on a daily chart. Okay, right now we're coming up to this high level. We just had major support and we're starting to get a potential bullish breakout if we can get over 75 for the session, but we're coming into resistance here. So we're sort of at this critical point for the trading session where if we break over 75 or 76, we're probably going to make a pretty significant move up to at least 80, where also if we fail down, we could drop back down into the 72s and 73s. So I got to see how this part of the market responds for me to sort of get a bias on the day. Okay, I'm also seeing that the individual pairs that I'm trading have basically just broken out of that range, very easily make a move up as well. So I'm sort of looking to see if we can get a big pop right out of the open. And you can see we did start to get that pre-market, but we're starting to pull back down. So what I'm seeing, this is going to be a huge area for an individual pair that I'm going to be trading. So if we get price to pull back down, I'm going to be looking for my 15-minute time frame, and I'm going to be looking to see if I can get any sort of response down here that aligns with my 1 minute, and then I'm going to hopefully be able to find an entry on trade number one. So basically, pivotal point, I'm trying to see where there's momentum, and then I'm going to look for my first trade entry. And the goal with what I'm going to be trading for today is I'm going to be looking for price action, and then I'm going to be seeing where we can have a break into fair value gaps. Then I'm going to be looking to enter into positions where I can keep my risk really small and then allow the winners to run. I don't have to be right a lot. I just have to be right enough for this to sort of play out. And you're going to see what I mean as I go through the trading session. So understanding this more macro look is going to allow me to have the patience that I need to be able to set up a trade. So now we just got to wait and hopefully we can find trade number one. Okay, so I have trade number one set up here. Basically what I'm looking at is a 15-minute time frame as well. We just broke out of this really critical area, but I'm expecting for price to come and sort of rebound off of that. And this is his first high impact area. So I'm going to take a long if we can get price to fill on this. Okay, so I chased it a little bit, but we're in. So we just got a really nice response off of that initial move. So I'm going to see if this can be a continuation area. What I want to do is just allow this position to breathe a little bit off of these levels. So I'm going to see now if we can play into this initial response looking good. And if this does want to flip to the opposite direction, I can switch my bias to short, no problem. But I am trying to capture this move if we do end up wanting to move to the upside. It's fighting to want to get a launch off of here. Now it's going to come down to whether or not this wants to continue to make a move up on the session or not. Right now we have crazy market conditions with a lot of momentum, right? So I'm just trying to play into that. What I'm trying to do with trading is basically keep it so that my risk is really, really tight, but my reward is a lot bigger than my risks. Like even in this case right now, I can potentially make 3.67 times the amount I'm risking here, which is basically going to put me in a position where all I need to do is be right 30% of the time approximately to be able to be break even. So I just need to allow a few of those to run to be able to get an edge over time. And that's effectively what I'm doing. And so now it's about putting myself into good technical areas to see if the market is going to respond. Obviously, we can't predict the future, right? A lot of people in trading think you can just predict what's going to happen and know for sure. I'm not trying to do that. All I'm doing is putting myself in good technical areas so that if the market does fundamentally flip after that, I'm positioned accordingly. There's a lot of back and forth right now in the market, so we're going to see. All right, we're getting a move down now. So that's a contained loss on that first position. Didn't get the response that I was hoping for. Okay, so next target area is going to be here. So we have change of character underneath this low. Wow, what a reversal in the market. When I see stuff like this is where I'm checking Truth Social. Holy smokes. That's why you have stop losses. If people were just holding that position, that's how you lose an account instantaneously. Really, really deep push down now. All right, so I'm just going to let the market shake out, basically pick a direction. And when I find the next trade setup, we're going to hop into trade number 2. Okay, so basically we've had a close underneath this level again. So basically just a macro reversal. I want to play into this momentum. If we can get a push up here, and then we're going to continue moving down for the day. These are big ranges. If we look at what the market has been doing over the past couple weeks, we're now at all-time highs, and at the beginning of the month, we were down. So we've literally moved up 10% in the last couple weeks. So obviously the price action is a little bit more out of whack, out of what it's normally at. So the ranges could be a bit bigger. So I'm going to try to tap in on this one, see if we can get into trade number 2. Trade number 1, including fees, I lost $24.50. My entry was a little bit weird, and then I paid a lot on the fees as well. So I was risking 2K, so I lost a little bit more than that on that trade. So going in the opposite direction, that happens with trading. Just got to keep ahead and allow this winner to potentially play out. Any opportunity that we're having, we need to allow it to sort of work itself out. I just got to make sure I don't hit 3 consecutive losses, because then I shut myself out on the session. All right, so this move came up and the general idea was there, but I wasn't able to get into the next trade. So I'm going to cancel this order. Basically, what I'm going to do now is wait to see if we can break either a little bit lower or if we can break out of the structure and continue moving up higher. But I'm going to let the market sort of develop, be patient, take quality trades. All right, so at this point, I missed this move that I was aiming to take literally by a fraction of a hair. And this would have been a runner now of 7R, which would have brought me $14,000 in profit. I'm not chasing things. I'm not going to make stupid decisions. This is going to happen a lot in trading. So what I'm doing now and what I'm seeing develop is the market is completely whiplashed, basically funneling price action into this area where now we've just broken out of this higher time frame area. For the past couple days, we've been failing off of this level. So if we're able to break through this level, the next really significant area is going to be right here at 88. If we look over here, this is where the last higher time frame bearish fair value gap is in this critical level of support. So if we follow this all the way over, price really hasn't come back up to that region in quite some time. So if we're able to get in on a technical entry, I'm going to try to play up into that area because price is going to want to gravitate up there. And with the momentum we're seeing into the session, it's quite possible that we do get that. Just need price to pull down and get me filled in this midpoint area now. Okay, we're about to get filled, hopefully. All right, and we're in. Okay, so now we need this on a macro level to be able to give us a little bit of a lift and then a continuation for the session. Otherwise, I'm going to play onto a break and a continuation to the downside if we do continue to break. So I have options. I'm just trying to play into momentum whichever direction we get it and make sure that there's opportunities on either side. So let's see if we get a response here. Starting to get a response now off of this area. Just need a little bit of a push. Anything over this level, I'm going to be able to reduce risk. So the goal with my trading is to basically just allow myself to be able to reduce the risk on the position. Okay, because once again, all I'm trying to do with my trading is get in on high opportunity technical areas and then wait for fundamental factors to drag the market into that direction. And then if I'm already in a technical position, I can allow that to really, really pay off for me. Whereas if the technical area works even, but then the fundamentals are going to drag it down, we keep our risk contained and we get out and we find the next opportunity. And it's just a game of just doing that to get a small edge over time. Okay, so whether this comes up and responds off of this or if it breaks down again, either way, you can see by where I'm entering, this is a technical level that we want to pay attention to, right? It's grabbing onto this area, it's trying to flip. So if the momentum in the market wants to continue, great. If it doesn't, then it's going to flip on me. It is what it is. All right, so we're sort of just hanging around at this area. We are getting a technical response, but we need some macro momentum here. All right, starting to get a nice push off of that area now. So I need a candle close over this high to reduce my risk to break even. So I just need about 45 seconds on this one to, wow, really, really good push. Really good push. So really what I need now is for price to just break through all of these key areas. We've tested them yesterday, but the fact that we're breaking out of this range and retesting them is bullish to me. This is going to be a big area that we need to break through. And then past that, there's really not that much. So like I said, that's why I'm targeting that higher time frame fair value gap. Okay, so now I'm breaking my stop loss up to break even. Based off of my experience of just knowing price action when we get these blow off tops and then these immediate pull downs like this, I think there's a pretty good probability that this continues to just come back down and stop me out for break even. But I'm just gonna hold the trade and see, because it's a risk-free trade, so 0 risk on the table, and see if we can get a nice move up. I'm gonna consider, based off of how the price action looks, to take profit here at just a clean 1 to 4, lock in that 8,000, and then I'm gonna let price potentially for the rest of it run up to try to extract a bit more, and we're going to see what we can do. So hopefully we get a continuation, a good push now. In the meantime, I'm going to hang out, shoot some TikToks, and watch this trade unfold. All right, starting to get a little support off of this gap, but still like not a lot of faith. But I am going to be waiting to see if this can break down to take the opposite side if it wants to flip. But right now I'm just playing and responding off of price action. That's all I'm doing. That's all I can do. So price came back down to break even, which is totally fine. Just wanted to allow this to really make a move up if it was going to. It's all right. We're going to get one. It's just about being patient. Just got to maintain being locked in. We will get one. Imagine it just tags that, just goes for the rest of this. It's happened before. All right, so I'm taking the next trade here. We have this price sort of developing up, failing, and then we had a close below this level, which gave us a change of character. So that produced a gap in here, and then price kind of came up through that, tried to chop through it, and I ended up getting an entry a little bit higher to see if we can start to capitulate down underneath this level. So we should be able to get a nice response off of this. There we go. Nice move down now. Nice response off that area. Big push down now. So I'm looking for price to now pull back into at least this area, which is going to give me almost a 1 to 4. So that should give me a nice chunk of profit if we can get it pushed down. We got to close down below here, so I can go ahead and reduce my risk to break even again. So I'll have a risk-free trade. About to break this low now, which is really good. Then we just want to see this area get soaked up. Really need this low to break down now, especially underneath this low. That will be really, really big. Otherwise, if this flips again, it's going to be probably leading to a higher push up now. Need that level to break. If it breaks, it's going to break probably pretty quick. I'm closing out. All right, so I just locked in half at this take profit level. The next level is going to be down here. So I'm going to see if we can continue to drop lower, but I locked in 2,600 on partials. All right, so basically we already locked in enough to be break even on the day. I'm floating the rest of the position. What I want to see happen is for price to just basically consolidate around here, come back down to here. I'm looking at my higher time frame to basically make a decision on that take profit. That should be able to put me up a total of about 7 risk factors, where I'll be able to net out about 5 total. So that should be about a $10,000 trade if I can get it done properly, but we've hedged our downside. So now it kind of just keeps us back in the game. That's the goal of trading, is to basically make it so that you can stay in the game as long as possible to be able to let your edge play out. If you race to take profit too early, or you're trying to prevent losses or avoid losses, you're never going to be able to be exposed to the market enough to actually let it pay off. So I'm going to allow it to hang out. Hopefully we get a drop down lower. I'm actually going to go get a haircut right now. So I'm basically just going to let this trade run, monitor it on my phone, and I'll go for a nice walk as well. All right, so I'm back. Good news is haircut low-key came out fire. Bad news, I guess okay news, is that we were able to lock in take profit at this first level. You can see I was basically just picking that level, taking off half, and seeing if we could play for, you know, that extra piece of profit. That was the area that ended up reversing. I knew that that was a high probability area of reversal, which is why I set my partial take profit there. I was looking for a little bit more in the trade to see if I could extract a bit more, but now we're breaking above highs here again. So there's a bunch of different opportunities that I have. The first opportunity that I'm looking for is if we can break down this structure again at some point, and then I can start looking for shorts. On the high end, or on the opposite side of this structure, now I'm basically looking at this high and this high. So if we can chip above with confidence over this range here and come up. If we're gonna get a clean structure and a clean break, I'm gonna play into momentum over that high. The next unmitigated area is basically right here, okay, which would mean that if I can get a push up, okay, which we're getting right now, I could target that higher area all the way up here and then hopefully have a nice trade. So I'm gonna see if we can actually set something up here. All right, so I have an order here set up to see if we can get a pullback down into this area. So we're gonna see if we can push down and get filled on this. If we're gonna continue trading higher for the session. All right, and we're in. See if we can get an initial response off of this level now to confirm our entry. Should get a bounce. Okay, also keep in mind, with fees included, break even, and then a loss, and then a win, I'm basically flat on the day now. I'm only down like 440 off of 3 trades. So I really just need this to move nicely for it to look good. Only thing I'm trying to do is make sure that I don't take trades off early though, because this is the mindset that I get into where I'm like, oh, I want to be up on the day. I want to take the profit while I have it. I need to make sure I stay out of this mindset and follow my plan. So I'm gonna set this at 1 to 4 so I can make sure I at least get 1 to 4. Computer's freezing. No, come on. Come on, unfreeze I can't deal with the pinwheel right now, bro. Come on. No, this is so torturous. How is this happening? My computer's not loading, so I'm holding the position longer, but like I want to close it now. It's like not responding, Dude, it's up so big now. Oh my God, it's hitting my full take profit now, but I can't do anything. Dude, that actually helped me hold my trade longer. All right, so basically I couldn't close that out. So now we came up to that higher time frame 15-minute target that we figured price would gravitate towards. So we got that pullback into that zone and then price pushed beautifully up to this midpoint. Now as a vanity metric, I would love to see it reverse off this level because that would confirm that my take profit was good, but nonetheless, really good momentum in the markets. What I'm going to do, I already locked in 5.5 risk factors. All right, so I got about 97, 73 off of that position. So I'm just going to let this market sort of do what it's going to do to sort itself out. I have what I'm going to be waiting for. I can take shorts on this potentially once we get exhaustion. I'm going to follow this structure, get everything logged. We're up really nice on the day. And then basically, if we're able to get a flip later into the session off of this area, I can start looking for shorts. So I'm just going to let this play out. I'm going to play some golf, take a break for a bit, and then we're going to hopefully get into trade number 5, see if we can really push the profit on the day. All right, so we still have a 50% win rate on the day. I was waiting for price to come up and start making a shift down. We did have a little bit of price action that's sort of trailing back over for the day now, but what I really wanted to see is for this structure here to start to break down a bit. Ideally, I would love to see this low be broken again, but we do have this area that is fairly important, so I am going to try to take a short position here. I kind of missed that first wick up, but I want to see if we can capitulate down off of this level and at least get a little bit of momentum once again to reduce my risk underneath this low. And then what I'm going to do is be able to target this point down here, see if we can get any sort of roll off. But once again, all I really want to do is be able to reduce risk on something like this. All right, so we're in short here now. Looks like price is starting to come back up. So we're going to see if we can get a volume increase here and get this to flip around, but it looks like it could end up moving against us. Just not enough volume for us to get a switch, but still not over yet. We did break underneath this level. We didn't quite get a change of character here. I would consider this a change of character. So now we're running into that same level. So we just need to flip a bit. So looks like we got our technical response here, but once again, we just have low volume at this period of the day. So market is just overall really strong. So we're just trying to play little cheeky flips in it to see if we can get anything, but looks like we might end up coming through our level here and we're all out. All right, that's fine. Took a stab at another position here. Just trying to make sure that I'm taking advantage of all the opportunities of the day. Now we get the volume influx. Anyways, this is actually a move that we potentially trade. So let's clean things up. Instead of complaining about it, let's see if we can make opportunity out of this. So we'll see if another trade opportunity pops up. Basically, we have change of character underneath this low, and then this is our fair value gap that was being produced. Okay, the other proprietary indicators that I use as well are confirming that this is a good level. So I'm going to see if we can catch this and still play down to this midpoint here. It's still going to be a really good entry. It's not as good as before. Still a good target, which could give us a 1 to 6 opportunity. What I'm trying to do too is make sure that I'm not afraid of taking more trades because I'm up on the day, right? I want to be able to keep putting myself in these opportunities where I can really let my edge play out. Oftentimes what I'll do is sort of just be like, okay, I'm up like close to my target per day. Let's just pack it in. And then I'll leave a lot of these opportunities on the table. If there's good trade opportunities there, I want to push it and let my edge play out over time. Holy, Okay, in fairness, I got some good luck today as well. I'm not going to discredit that. However, if we look at how much of an L that is, it's not, I mean, my stop was pretty wide though, so it's not, I guess, that bad, but still. Idea was there, just a little bit wrong. All right, so looking at where price action sort of is at this point, we're just generally moving up on the entire session right now. We haven't broken out of any of these lows here. Price could definitely come down and want to reclaim these secondary lows. We're sort of just trading in this sideways zone with a general bullish sentiment. Okay, off of this consolidation, this was our level where we got our change of character. It's really just more of an internal change in state of delivery. So basically the same type of structure, but internally, technically this is our high that price would have to sort of break over to confirm that. So we're still kind of running into these levels over here. What I'm hoping to do is just off of this level, it's basically one or the other. Price is going to just flush this level and then come down and react off of this and potentially go higher. But if we can front run our entry into here and this wants to break highs and then continue to try to fill this void, this is going to allow us a really, really nice little position here to ride into just the fading volume. This is a hugely important area on the chart for me to try to be targeting. So we're going to see if we can come down and get filled on this now. Looks like price is coming down now. We're in. Set my take profit, which I should have done before. So I'm in. All right, so I actually entered a little bit late with the remainder here. Brings our average down to here. So I got a little lucky on that trade to front run it a little bit. See if we want to pick up any steam at this level. To be honest, price is completely invalidating my entry here. So I'm pretty much just gambling. So I'm going to take this position off the table. We already burned enough getting into it. All right, we just printed a buy signal here with my proprietary indicator that helps me with this strategy. So we're starting to move back in, reclaim this level. If we can break this level now with speed, then it looks like a potentially good shape here. But if we respond off of this gap, it's probably not going to work out for us. Wow, big push now. Big push off of that area. Now that I've sort of front ran this and called bluff on this level breaking, if we basically come and we're able to break through this area and continue moving higher, it's basically off to the races. I can hold this a long time. Basically, this was a chop shop trade. I meant to get in and then got in with the small size. And then by the time I put my order in, price was way too low. So anyways, now it's going to retry this level. It's either going to break this level on its way back down or it's going to smash through it right now. So we're going to see what happens. I have to go downstairs real quick. I have my stop loss in. We're going to see where things take us. Let's see if we can break out of this level now. I'm feeling good about it. I'm feeling like the market is like, I'm ready to move higher. I'm ready to break out of this level. This was such a makeshift trade. Wow. Not a good trade. You can see it kind of wants it. It's like stalling out. It's getting resistance at the top here. And then it's technically supposed to come down, but there's just too much consistent volume on the overall uptrend. That's how you know it's probably going to break that level. There we go. That's the move we wanted. It's either going to happen right here or it's going to break down. If it breaks down, we can find another trade opportunity. If it breaks up here, then we're pretty much good to go for this level to continue. So now it's make or break here. I love that video. All right, so basically I took this trade off for enough to cover the fees, which was 508. All right, this is just kind of chopping around sideways at my entry, so it's not really good price action to be getting in on. All right, however, we do have Asia session, which is going to open here in about 30 minutes. So I'm gonna be sort of just looking around for trades. I'm gonna get some work done here while I'm sort of waiting for the market to make its next move. If we can find another trade, great. We're doing pretty well in the day. We're not quite at our target, which I would love to hit. So we can find something of quality, of course, we're gonna take it. So I'm gonna get some work in. We're gonna see if we can find trade number 7 and get us to our daily goal. Asia is about to open in about 15 minutes. So basically waited for this level. This level got rejected and then immediately moved up. Trading this time of day can be a little bit annoying, but we're about to get a bunch of volume coming in from Asia. So I really want to take advantage of this if we can find a good opportunity. We broke out of this area and we have this gap here we played into another one. I got a long signal here. There's a little diamond. Really got a great response off of that. So I was literally the last order. Okay, so we're starting to get a nice move up over this level now. Really, really good push. Here comes the Asia volume. Wow, really nice push. It doesn't get much cleaner than that on that side. So we're going to come in and retest this fair value gap. Now, the fact that it tested it once and then a bunch of times here and now it's coming back up to it is indicating to me that we're going to respond off of this level and come back down for a second, and then we should be able to break through it because there's no reason why we would come up and test it again unless it was sort of a bit weaker and we weren't going to come down and test this untested liquidity resting down here. So hopefully we're able to get that continuation continuation push. I'm going to let this trade run too, of course, but I'm going to start off and just basically target a 1 to 4, see if we can get a nice push up. Okay, I already have a close above this swing low, so I can go ahead and reduce my risk to break even as well. So again, risk-free trade. I'm just trying to get those initial pushes and then risk-free trades. I want this to hold, and then I want Asia to bring momentum. We got an order block candle. Basically, this candle is indicating to me that this is institutional level or larger size orders, the one that we were able to enter off of at that point, which is giving me hope that this will actually follow through, because basically all of this movement has to flush out this order block now. All right, so we finally got a close down below this low in Asia. We did kind of sweep it, so we could kind of either go pretty much either way. We have a change of character here. We're getting this high impact gap, so I'm hoping that we're able to hold that response level and then drop below this area. And if that's the case, I still want to be targeting the midpoint down here to try to get a nice push down and a capitulation before a bigger move up. So I'm hoping that once again, this level can hold, but we did finally break down these consolidated lows. Getting a nice initial push here. This level is going to be a problem because this is that sweep level. Basically, price came down and attempted to sweep this low, came and then basically created a fair value gap here. So price is going to definitely come off of this level and then want to continue moving higher if it is, or it's going to invalidate that, and that's going to be a huge way down. So that's what we're waiting for now. Make it a good push down. Now needed to break this level, which nice initial response. All right, so we broke this level. Just need to make a clean break underneath this low now. This is the Asia session torture. All right, so I just locked in partials here at my 1 to 4. You see a little bit higher than 1 to 4, but locked in 27.50. Now I'm targeting down here for the rest. I'm gonna bring my stop loss to break even though that's been shooting me in the foot today. All right, so I'm gonna be waiting for the rest of the position. I have an automatic take profit set here, and then I have my stop loss reduced to break even. So we have 27 locked in. Now I'm basically going out for dinner. I can manage this trade on my phone, check out what's going to happen, and then we will see. Either we come back from dinner happy that we went full profit, or we get stopped out for break even, but either way, risk-free trade. So let's see if we can get some volatility and hit our full profit target. So let's take a look at how I did on this last trade. All right, so where we left things off was right around here. We had taken profit right at this level. So once I got my break underneath this low, I reduced my risk to break even, which is normally designed to make it so that I can reduce risk on the trade. Statistically, it works out better over time. However, as we've seen today, and as we play this forward, as I was out doing my thing, monitoring on my phone, the trade comes up, tags the stop loss, and then proceeds to come all the way down and make a move like this. Came up to our exact area and then confirmed all the way back down, but I ended up only being able to lock in at 24.59 after fees of getting out on the second half of the position at break even. It was still a good trade, but just a little bit annoying how this seems to have been working out. All right, so let's see how we were able to do over this session. Okay, market has been crazy volatile. S&P 500 is at all-time highs. You can see Bitcoin is also starting to make a move right where I had called to you guys in the Discord, on the videos, etc. Came right into our buy zone, and now we're flipping back off that level. But crazy markets so far. First trade out of the gate, I was trying to play into that momentum. We had our signal, our entry, we got our initial response, price came back down, stopped us out for a full loss. With fees and everything, that was negative 24.50. We got a whiplash up in this direction. I was so close to playing off of this move. I was trying to set up a position to be able to enter in off of this area with a stop loss underneath this low, which I probably would have been able to ride up to at least equal highs here, which could have been 6.7 R. That's trading. You're going to have to deal with that sometimes. So I was sort of just watching this price action come back up. once we broke over this area, I was looking at this macro area that we hadn't broke out of. As soon as we did, we produced a gap. I wanted to play into that momentum where we got our influx here of volume. So I played into that, break a structure, played into the momentum, came back down, break even trade on that trade. Okay, next trade was watching this structure finally break down. As soon as we got a capitulation in a full confirmed close underneath this structure. Okay, I got it a little bit late on this trade and then reduced risk. Price came down. I took partial profit here. Okay, once again, reason being, if I'm looking at my 15-minute time frame and I'm looking at where these fair value gaps are, I'm just sort of targeting midpoints, and then when we get exhaustions into that liquidity, I'm just kind of picking off partial. So I was able to close out 24.69 on that. So I locked in a little bit over a risk factor, and then price just reversed against me. So good trade, could have been more, but I was kind of fighting the natural bias of the day. All right, then once again, similar structure. We broke out of this overall downtrend, played into our higher time frame. I mean, technically break of structure, but also changing character out of that higher time frame. So once we came back down, dipped into this area, continued to move higher. This is where my computer froze and I couldn't take the trade off at my initial take profit, and then ended up finding this higher time frame fair value gap. Yeah, price has just been very, very volatile through these levels. So was able to capture 5.5R, locked in around 9,773 on this trade. This trade was waiting for price structure to break down, trying to front run this bearish move a little bit. Price came up, wicked through my stop loss, and then proceeded to come down and would have gone to full profit. So frustrating loss on that. Okay, we lost 23.78 on that trade. A little bit annoying. Okay, then once we failed to break that low here, I was trying to enter off of this and catch into seeing if price would break and continue to run at highs. We didn't. We kind of just chopped around sideways. So I took the trade off enough to cover fees, and I actually ended up making $88 on that. So consider that a break even. Once we started to show Asia session, bringing some new volume highs in here, I was trying to take a position off of this break, see if we could fail to break lower and end up moving up. All I was looking for was like a 1 to 4, just like a nice clean 1 to 4 trade, but ended up reducing risk, came back down for break even. So I lost $246 on that. And then once we finally closed below our level here, I entered into my change of character, fair value gap into here, underside level, came up, took profit down here, and then, yeah, sadly missed out on what size this move could be. But overall, really hard back and forth price action to try to read, especially when we're at all-time highs. So I think the fact that I was even able to navigate this, even though I didn't get to my daily goal, even though we missed it by $753, I still was able to end up the day $9,247. Okay, and basically you guys are able to see all it is really trying to allow those trades to really run. Life is going to get in the way. Okay, and as you guys are seeing, it really is about just finding a system and allowing those winners to run, keeping the losses contained, and letting that edge play out over time. Today was a good day. There's going to be losers. There's going to be winners. Overall, a good trading day. If you're still here, make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to know when I put other videos out. You can check out other videos right here. Our private trading team and mentorship right here. But until next time, I will see you all in the next video.